Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about what if Deku was an infinite stratos. So in the last video Deku, after I told you the story about Izuku's tragic backstory, well, Izuku got in a special box from one of his clients. Apparently his grandfather made this this special IS which boys can use. But I'm also gonna be retconning this. Only boys can use this IS because how about make him super overpowered? Anyway, so after Izuku uses it, Izuku is able to basically use his own personal IS. After that, Izuku gave this special weapon to this villain. After doing that, Izuku wait. Izuku met All Might, which Izuku was not really all that excited because in this world, Izuku's seen so many IS users that to the point that he doesn't even care that the hero's like there in front of him. So after that, Izuku basically saw the villain again, but she was terrorizing the city. Izuku decided to help, but after defeating her, Izuku got knocked out by a hero. So yeah, so let's talk about what happens next. And also, guys, if you think the mic is if you think the mic is weird because I'm currently using a brand new headphones that I got in from my mother. So yeah, so comment down below if it's not glitchy as my old mic. So yeah, so let's start the story then. Izuku is now in a dream. He's in this mindscape of some sort. Izuku sees his grandfather as Izuku starts running towards him, but he starts walking towards a light. Izuku says, "Grandfather, no!" As when Izuku wakes up a a really great room. It's filled with so many really good luxuries, like for example, good covers, a really nice bed, things like that. Izuku says this. Where is it? Izuku can't find his IS. Wait for a second, guys. Izuku can't find his IS anywhere on his body. So, Izuku tries to get off the bed, but his leg feels like it's in pain. Izuku says, "Dang it. Did I fall? I think I fall on my knee or something. I'm guessing that's why my leg doesn't feel good." So, Izuku goes to the door. As when Izuku opened that, Izuku sees a blinding light. As when Izuku adjusts his eyes a little bit, it's a corridor. So Izuku starts going to to the end of the corridor where Izuku sees a large door. Izuku opens the door as Izuku hears this. "So, you're finally awake." Izuku recognizes that voice. That's Principal Nezu of the school, the IS Academy. Izuku leaps up as Izuku says, "Wait, you're Nezu." And Izuku sees the rest of the UA teachers. Or should I say IS teachers, because now it's not UA UA High, it's now the IS Academy now in this world. Anyway, just wait for a second. As Principal Nezu says this. "Huh, I can't believe a boy is able to use an IS. Pretty interesting. Even though I'm an animal, I can't really use an IS, so I don't really get the luxury of using an IS myself." As for the other UA teachers, one of them is the girl that Izuku saw before he blacked out. It's a girl with shaggy black hair and has like she literally has like eye bags. She doesn't even look like she's like alive. She looks like she's completely dead inside. As she says, Ugh, I can't believe a boy like you is able to use an IS, and so recklessly. As for the other one, it's a girl with, well, purplish hair. As she says, really interesting. I can't believe a boy is able to use an IS. And that model that I saw, I never seen an IS like that before. We tried looking into the records and we came up, well, well, we can't find any information about that IS at all. And and this and when Izuku looked over, Izuku sees All Might as she says this. So, I can't believe you, kid, has an IS. And I can't believe you actually are a boy. A boy that's able to use an IS. Interesting. As Izuku says, then why did you kidnap me? As for Nezu, he says this. Kidnap you? Huh, that's preposterous. I didn't kidnap you. It's more like, well, let's just say protecting you. Izuku says, protecting me? You literally electrocuted me. As he says, no, it's more like, well, it's actually Aizawa's idea. As she says, yeah, whatever. Izuku says, just why? And also, where's my IS? As Nezu says this, well, it's currently getting repairs, but they have a hard time, well, finding the part to basically fix it because we never seen any type of metal like this before in an IS. Izuku says, because it's specially made. As as for Nezu, Nezu says this, specially made. Izuku says, just erase that from your mind. As he says this, what do you mean by specially made? Tell me, boy. As Izuku says nothing. As All Might says this, if you don't tell us, will we bring you into the police? Izuku says this. Fine. Izuku explains about how he got this IS and how his grandfather made it. As for, well, Nezu, he's quite interested. For, well, All Might, she says this. You poor kid. You don't even have parents anymore. Except for those people that you call parents. Izuku says, I prefer not to call them parents. I prefer to call them, well, people that pity me, I guess. As for, well, Midnight, yes, that's actually Midnight. She says this. Oh, how about this? Young Izuku. Izuku says, don't call me that. Just call me Midoriya. As she says, sure. How about this? You join the IS Academy, where you're able to, well, use your IS. Izuku says, what's in it for me? As Nezu says this, you're allowed to use your IS, and also not, but also, you're also able to become a hero. So, do we have a deal? As Izuku thinks about it, Izuku says, I'll think about it. I'll be going into the bedroom. Ugh, my leg doesn't feel good. As when Izuku starts going back into the, well, the dorms, or should I say the bedroom of his dorm, as Izuku goes down, goes like face first into the bed. Like Izuku says, ugh, my leg feels like hell. And also, by the way, yes, this is going to be an 18 series, and also, I'm allowed to freaking swear once again, thank God. So, any of you, well, people that are not like, well, old enough to swear, don't watch it. Just click into one of my other videos. So, and also YouTube. I put it 18 plus, So don't, just don't. This website is already just, this website is already just like, just in chaos already. Anyway, just wait for a second, guys. So, Izuku, after putting his face first into the bed, Izuku starts thinking about what he's going to be doing. Izuku thinks about it as Izuku thought of this. If he were to join the IS Academy, he would get enough money for his business. But Izuku has to change his whole legion. Instead of selling to the black market, he decides to sell it to heroes now. If he were to have the money, at least. So Izuku thinks about it as Izuku gets a knock at the door. As Izuku sees All Might. All Might sits right next to the bed to him. As she says, "Hey Izuku." As Izuku says, "Just call me Midoriya." As she says, "Oh, okay." So, what is your answer then? Izuku says, "Sure, but I'm only doing it just for the money. Got it?" As she says this, "Money? Why?" Izuku says, "I just don't have, enough money. I just want to live alone and live somewhere that's peaceful." As she says this, "Don't worry, you'll be living in the dormitories." Izuku says, "Really?" As she says, "Yeah, good to be living here." Izuku says, "Sure." So, after that whole thing, she starts going to, back into that, discussion room, or whatever I'm gonna call it. Just wait for a second, guys. Again. So, Izuku, after healing his leg, using some of the metals from the, room, and yes, if you didn't know, Izuku's, quirk is basically mental manipulation, so yeah. So, after healing, Izuku gets out of the room and meets, meets Principal Nezu again. As Principal Nezu says this, "Ah, Izuku." Izuku says this, "So, what do you want me to do first?" As she says this, I meant he because, he's a boy, but he's still pretty intelligent. So, he says this, "So, you're gonna be training for a few years until you're, 15. Izuku says, "Sure." Sure. Then Izuku was brought to the training area. So, nobody was, using it for a while now because, it's not the day where they're gonna be going to, recruit some more IS, users yet. So, Izuku has, enough time to basically, train. So, he used to be taught by, Aizawa. Aizawa is basically like the Fuyumi of the, I meant Shifuyu, not Fuyumi. She's basically like the Chifuyu of this series now. So, she basically says this, "Alright, you're gonna be training immediately." Izuku says, "Fine." So, Izuku brings out his IS known as Librido. As for her, she summons out her IS known as the... Wait for a sec. Aizawa's IS is known as the Byakushiki. As she says this, "So, you ready, kid?" Izuku says, "Sure." So, Izuku starts jumping around like an animal. Izuku summons out his scythe. As Izuku uses the scythe to basically slash at her armor, as she says, "Not bad, kid, but take this!" She starts glowing this golden color as her eyes start turning red. As Izuku is about to use, to use his claw, it stops him. because well, apparently Izuku has to use his quirk while he's fighting. As in quirk, I mean he's able to use well, he has to use like his muscles. As in muscles, I mean his like well, because it's like well, half of his body is basically metal. It well for well Aizawa's quirk is well after all a quirk canceling quirk, and because of that, well, it basically stops Izuku in his tracks. As she starts away at Izuku, when Aizawa lost control, Izuku starts jumping around again as Izuku summons out his shotguns, which start piercing her armor. As she says, "Take this!" As she starts turning golden again, as she starts slashing away at Izuku's armor again. So Izuku gets defeated by her pretty much easily as she says this. "Seriously, kid. Maybe next time use some more training." And here, Izuku was out a book about IS units and techniques. Izuku says, "Wait, am I supposed to read this all?" As she says this. "Yes." Izuku says, "Fine." So, Izuku gets back to his room as Izuku has to read it all fucking night. And this is your last warning because this is still an 18 plus series. That means I'm able to swear in this video. So yeah, so just get the fuck out already. So Izuku keeps training with Aizawa for a few years now as he's now 15. As when he became 15, it's basically summer at the time. Izuku was still training with Aizawa, as Aizawa says this. "So, Izuku, you're going to be, you're going to be joining my class." Izuku says, "Fine." As she says this. "Is that sarcasm?" Izuku says, "No, no, Aizawa." As she says this. "Good. Anyway, your classmates are going to be all girls, remember? So, no inappropriate things with you and the other girls." Izuku says, "Why would you ever think that?" As she says this. "You're a boy, remember?" Izuku says, "But I'm not like that, okay?" As she says this. "I'm watching you, okay?" As Izuku says, "Fine. I'll be going back to my room." As she says this. "Just make sure to not do anything inappropriate in your room. And also, don't even dare get any inappropriate magazines." Izuku says, "I am not like that." So, after Izuku gets back to his room, Izuku basically goes face first into the bed again. Izuku has been training a lot. Izuku is still healing his wounds from the training. Izuku says, "Complete hell." So, Izuku felt sleepy. As Izuku says, "Guess I'll go to sleep." As Izuku falls to sleep. So, yeah. So, before you leave, guys, leave down in the comments that is the mic still glitchy or not? Just tell me, guys. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.